Good morning. It is an absolutely beautiful day here in South Louisiana, and 1 week after our snowstorm, I am currently living in my travel trailer, and it's parked in the driveway of my home, which I was renovating but decided to sell as is and go full-time RV because I'm tired of the home maintenance. Even after I got it renovated, I would have still had home maintenance, and I'm tired of it. This is a 100-year-old house with an addition, and it needed a lot of work, which I'm 61. I don't want to do it anymore, so there it is. I'm living full-time in Nellie Mae. I'm fortunate because I have hookups. I have a 30 amp outlet that I have installed just for this, for me to stay in it while I am emptying out the house and going through all of my stuff and downsizing, figuring out what I can live without or what I can't live without. And I also have water hookups right there. But although I did have in the plans a dump station that I was working into the plans for renovating the house, the trailer is a bit far from that. So I had to figure out what to do about that for now. And I decided on a macerator or whatever you call it. Ladies, it's a garbage disposal for your black tank. Okay? Basically, that's all it is. And couldn't find any videos to really give me a good understanding of what I needed to do and how I needed to use it. So, out of necessity, I'm doing a video based on what I learned. I am no expert. I've used the thing a few times, and I finally have figured out a system that works for me. It may not work for everybody, but I have water detectors throughout my trailer to make sure I'm not running things over or water's not getting where it shouldn't be. So, to anybody who has any suggestions, feel free, put them in the comments. Do your own video once you've figured it out, but this is my way of doing it. For now, it works. So, I empty my dump tanks at home without an RV dump station. So this is a 12-volt Macerator. Hooks directly in to my black tank, or what I found useful is these clear adapters, fittings, nipples. I actually have these two, and you'll see I have, I hope you were able to see it, a clear like 10-inch one. So the macerator pump actually kind of sits on the ground. It connects to a battery or 12-volt connection. And what? Oh, jeez, I'm getting old. Let's see if I can get this. So I have it plugged in to a 12-volt generator type battery thingy. And that works well for me. I was doing it with my truck, hooking it to my truck battery when it was in a different location, but it was still, even though I could drive up to it, it was still difficult because the wire is only long enough where I was like 2 inches off of my slide when I pulled up. So as far as the dump, since I didn't have, even my hose wouldn't reach that dump. So since I have a house in the middle of renovation, it's pretty open. I have this hole right here where I used to have a vent for a dryer going into the old laundry room. And I'm gonna go in my home in renovation stage. And this is where this was the laundry room. So there's the hole right there where I have the hose coming in. And then I have this little washer, it's just me. And I hang my clothes, and that's another subject, but here's the drain. Hope you can see it in the dark. And I pull that hose out, and I put my hose from my macerator in there, shove it down. And because that is the drain that handles the water pumping out of a washing machine, I don't have to worry about overflow. However, if you look, if you notice, there was a little white thing sitting next to that pipe coming out, and that is a water sensor. So if I were to overflow that while I was draining, I would hear the alarm go off and I could shut it off. So, but it worked well. I would be careful about trying to drain it into something that's not designed to handle water being pumped in it. I'd be afraid to do like a drain in the bathroom sink or something. Can't get the hose deep enough down, and I would be afraid it would back up because it's not made to handle enough water coming through. Maybe so, but I'm not a plumber, so I don't know. Let's look at it and see how it works. Okay, we hooked up to the black tank and we're running. Just gravity fed, no water running along with this until it empties out. You'll hear a change in pitch sometimes when it's emptying. Also, I'm trying to speed the video up sometimes and it'll change pitch. But you see something left in there. Don't get grossed out. It's just real life. So now open the gray tank and let it backwash the black tank. And then I'm going to run it again. Just let that run. You'll see some water leaking out. It's just not that much, and you probably do better with seals than I did. I'm hooked up to the hose, and I'm gonna shoot water into that check valve. It won't come back into my hose. This is a dedicated hose though, and just blowing water back into the black tank. I've closed the gray tank off, and this is just, I'm working on the black tank, and I'll run water in, let it run out again, and I'll keep doing that for a while. Making sure that I get the larger pieces that's stuck in the macerator. So just kind of an on and off with the backwash. Let it fill the tank a bit, and then run it again until I'm satisfied. But this is not going to clean out the tank as well as I would like it cleaned out, and since it's pretty weather today, I'm going to go ahead and disconnect the hose at one point and hook it to my tank flush. So this is the process, and I just keep working on this for a while. So I'm turning the water on and off. I'm turning the macerator on and off to just get it through and get it pumped out. Get a reasonably clean look to that water. Now I've hooked my hose. I've taken it off of the macerator and I've hooked it to my tank flush. So now I'm flushing my tank. Now you, per manufacturer's recommendation, you don't want to flush the tank with the valve closed. However, I do turn the macerator off and go ahead and let the tank fill up a bit before I run it again, and then I'll keep this on and off motion as the tank's being filled and washed out, flushed out, and turning the macerator on and off. At one point I fill it up pretty good and then I wash it out again. And remember, I am speeding this video up. The change in pitch in the middle of a flush, if you're not seeing the tube empty out, the change in pitch is just because I've sped the video up. So there you go. You start to see it empty out. Pitch changes on the macerator when I turn it off. And then close out my black tank. Now I'm gonna run water. I've put the hose back on the macerator, because what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna push water into, but my tank valves are closed, so I am just washing out the macerator right now. Be careful when you're running the water back up into the tubes with the valves closed. I have no idea where the water is going to go other than be forced out. So, but you want to make sure you run it through, run clean water through the macerator and through your hoses. I've got a dedicated hose. That brown hose there is dedicated to just outgoing output from the macerator and going to my dump. The red hose is just for flushing. I realize it's a check valve and it's not going to allow any black water into my hose, but I just prefer not to use my freshwater hose for that. So there you have it. So that's how I do it, and it works really well for me. If you have other suggestions, you can put them in the comments, or I suggest you go ahead and make a video and show us how you do it. I'd love to see your suggestions. I'm going to put a link to all of the things that I used in the description to this video as soon as I figure out how to do it. I use most everything I get is from Amazon. I think the hose came from Walmart, but that's all I have. I hope you find this helpful, and happy camping!